Alright folks, in this video I'm going to show you the process that I use personally for tying in a Peep sight. First, a disclaimer, I've got corroded looking fingers. I'm a mechanic by trade. My fingers are busted up. I have psoriatic arthritis. They grow different colors, shapes, sizes, whatnot. You can't handle that? Go watch something else. The Peep tying process that I use is nothing profound. It's a very common practice. I'm going to try to utilize this dark piece of pipe and a dark piece of paracord because that makes sense and show you how to do it, or how I do it. This is not how to do it, this is how I do it prior to trying to show you on a tiny little string. I use the constrictor knot. You can Google this. You can look it up on the YouTube. Very, very common knot. So I've got one tail end of the string here. I put it over my Peep. I bring it around and I make an X, just like that. So nothing super difficult. I'll try to get that down there where you guys can see it. Make an X. I bring it around. So I've got my two tag ends here. I bring this tag end up and over. Okay, so you've got your X. This side goes down around, up and over this tag end right here. And then we take the end of it and we slip that little guy underneath the whole X. And then we pull that tail end through. And this is called the constrictor knot. It's a very handy knot for like bundling stuff up, for tying Peep sights. And then after that, I use a couple half hitches, top and bottom of the Peep, to lock it in. But this is the main knot that I'll use to tie in a Peep, particularly if you're trying to find your Peep height and stuff. It still allows you to run up and down your string. But it's a very, very strong knot and can be a pain in the hoo-ha to get undone. So don't yank it down tight on nothing you don't want it to be constricted. So we'll try that one more time. Unenhanced. Look at this guy, he's got no socks on, or no shoes. So a little short end here. There, across my Peep, up and over, and I make an X. Super duper simple. Bring it around town. So it's very similar to the clove hitch. And then we need to bring this loose end here underneath that X. So I just loosen that X up, slip it in. Okay, so there's your X. And then pull it tight, and there's your constrictor knot. It's easy as that. 1-2 barbecue, right? Now let's go try it for realsy on a Peep sight with little tiny string and big fat fingers. I hope this stays in focus for us. So here is the Peep sight. This is a jumbo sucker here. This is your Specialty Archery PXL Hunter. These things are like putting a walnut in your string. They're humongous. Just a regular piece of serving material in the flow green. I like to do it over my finger. Okay, I'd like to leave, I'll split my string in the middle. I've got lots of extra serving material. I bring it around, I make my X. I just do it right on my finger. Make my X, I'll hold it with my corroded thumb. And then I'll bring my tail end, my tag end around the other tag end. I'll pull it up through, and then at this point, I've got my X. Everything falls apart, and I'll slip it through the middle of my X, right up and underneath. And then I'll tie my constrictor knot, which if I was you, I would just practice it with some paracord. Dang it, it's got me, it's constricted me. Practice with some paracord, and then practice with your thread. Some people just will tie this right on the Peep. I am not that talented. I got sausage-like fingers. And then I just stick it up on the Peep, and then I'll come around, and I want to make sure that my strings are running parallel to each other. Sometimes that can be a little fiddly. I'll get my strings running parallel through the string groove. Like I say, if you pull this, it's going to lock down. So I always flip my Peep over, and you'll see how the strings run across the groove, and they're laying next to each other. In case you take it to the bow show, you don't want to lose any points. And then you tighten it down. At this point, you can trim it, burn it, and that baby, it ain't going 20, okay? This allows you the ability to still get your peep where you want it. If you're working on that, if you don't know what your peep height is and you got to keep tweaking it a little, you can just do this. That way you can shoot your bow and you don't have to worry about this thing coming flying out, bouncing off your riser and smacking you directly in your eye. Once you get your peep height figured out, cut your knot off it, tie your constrictor knot again, leave your tails long, but lock this baby in using a couple underhand knots, overhand knots. So what I'll do is I'll take my tail end, I'll go through the bottom, grab that guy, say come here little guy, lock that right there, and then I'll do it on the top as well, through there, simple overhand knot, bring it down, boom. Same thing on this side, simple knot, bring it right into that string groove, oops. Pull it. Same thing here. Boom. So now you have a knot, top and bottom. Pull it in, pull it tight. Give her one of those. Drop your lighter on the floor. Ow! Cut myself. Dang near. Hopefully that stayed focused. Pick your lighter up. Oh, we're bleeding out, boys. And then burn it, turn it, and burn it. That's what they say. And that's it. Now she's locked in. It's locked in super tight, tiger tight. Okay? And that's it. And then from this point, if you want, you can tie knots. Oh, we're bleeding good. Better wipe that on my pants. You can tie your knots down here to cinch it in if you like. I usually will shoot with mine like that. I don't really know if you have to tie them down here at the top and bottom. I can show you that process if you like, and I'll show you how I do that. I figure I better put a band-aid on so nobody passes out at the sight of blood. We're gonna cut my skin with it. Can't cut string with it though. What I'll typically do is I will just serve like you're gonna do a regular serving. If you feel so inclined to lock this down. I'll stick my piece of serving through. Let me move the camera here a bit. Stick it through like that. I'll come one time behind the string. Okay. And then I come one time in front of the string. And I'll usually cinch it a little bit. Keep this from rotating. We're not actually working on bows, it's just an old piece of string. Then I'll lay down my tag end. And then I go around it however many times you feel inclined to do. We'll just do it like, we'll do it 4 times, holding this tag end out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'll pull this tag end up. And I'll pull that clump of knots back. We don't need this tag end anymore, so I'll leave that alone. Might wrap around it, just say 2 times in front of that. And then we're gonna start to back serve it. So we're gonna make a loop. Lots and lots of videos of how to tie serving. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 for good luck. And then we'll lay the tag end down. I'll hold it with my finger, and then we're just going to wrap around that tag end. This makes for a very clean knot. And basically just untying it over itself. We'll grab that tag end and we'll start to pull it through. We're going to pull that up to meet our other loose end. So we just have these 2 tags sticking out. We can pull them tight. I'll trim them off. I probably should have cut them a little bit shorter. I'll burn them down. And then you can do that. That knot pretty well locks in. Wherever you put it, that one locks in. You can do that on the bottom, you can do it on top. All different ways to tie this, Okay, some guys will do it without serving material. They'll use almost like bowstring material, like some of the mercury material works really well. I'll show you a knot that is quite common in our local bow shops. I'll see these guys do, and I do not know the name of this knot. So if anybody knows the name of this knot, you can share it with me. Let me move you. So they'll just take a piece of serving material, usually bowstring material, and you grab both of the loose ends, okay? And then you make the loop. I have no idea what the name of this knot is, but I see this knot all the time in archery. And then they'll just lay that loop on here, and then they'll reach through that loop and grab the two, almost like you're making a Prusik knot, almost. So they grab it like that, they pull it up to where they want to begin, and then it's just a series of overhand knots. And then they'll pull it, and then they'll just keep making this overhand knot. And it's a very unique looking knot. Did I just do that wrong? I did. You have to keep going in the same direction. Like I say, it's a very unique looking knot because it leaves a series of knots in a spiral pattern across the top of the overall knot. It's a way to make a knot very quickly in archery. And they'll do it like this. And like I said, they often don't do it with serving material. And it is very unique how that looks because it builds a set of spiral knots all the way across it. And you go like that. And then this is not a knot that I use, but you can see why archery shops would use it because it builds a knot very quickly. And the cool part about it is, what I've found that's neat, when they use the bowstring material, like the mercury material or a very thin, like 15 thousandths or 12 thousandths, some thinner, this is like 22 thousandths, some thinner serving material, it leaves a very small row of knots, but it makes the knot easy to take off because you can just take a pair of fingernail clippers and you can just clip it off, or you can take your razor blade, run it over the knots. And I believe to finish this knot, they typically use like a double overhand knot. That's how it's typically finished. Now I could be wrong on that. So you can finish it like that, or you can do a single overhand and then a single overhand, one on top, one on bottom, something like that. Trim it, trim it, burn it, turn it. Like I said, that is a very unique looking knot. I have no idea what the name of it is, but like I say, I see that on bows from, we have a couple local bow shops, local-ish, and both of the guys that run the place tie a knot just like that. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if I recall seeing the people on the YouTubes doing it, but perhaps they do. So I wish I knew the name of it. Somebody knows the name of it. But like I say, it makes it nice to cut off because you can just go right along that knot. And once you get it, then you can just unravel your string and then you're good to go. Just don't cut yourself. Okay, so there's that. The serving knots are a little harder to cut because you do risk cutting your string. You can come along them. Usually once you get the one end, you can get it to unravel. But we didn't serve much of that tag end under there. If you want to know more about tying these knots, like I say, there's a zillion videos on YouTube that are much better than mine. The people actually know what they're doing is the big difference between theirs and mine. Then we can cut our Peep back out. Get all that off, and that's it. So that's some of the stuff, that's some of the ways that I tie in my Peep, the constrictor knot, and then I usually will serve the top and bottom if I feel that it's necessary. Most of my stuff I don't, just a constrictor knot, a couple overhands. It's the way that they will teach you on the Specialty Archery website. It's their recommended method, and it's just a great way to tie in a Peep. So that's it, folks. That's about all I know. I don't know much, but I know that. And that's how I tie in Peep. Hope you liked the video. Maybe we can make some more videos of how I do a D-loop, how I tie soft knocks. I don't know a whole lot of knots for archery. I just know the ones that I use. So thanks for watching.